Trouva is an independent marketplace. So what we do is we find beautiful offline shops and we help them become more efficient in the way they sell online. And at the same time, we are basically becoming an alternative destination place for people who want to buy something different. People that are not happy with chains anymore, people that want to have something that expresses their individuality. So we join these two groups together. The difference about Trouva is that for the first time, we actually focus on people that have given up their jobs and have built beautiful spaces in the offline world. So people that have built beautiful small shops and are stocking anything from homewares to fashion accessories to fashion. Taking these people and taking their inventory online, that is something new, that is something different, and that's kind of what we do. I think the first time I was quite inspired about what we've built was when we found out that we were covering the rent for our first retailer. Getting to the point where you can help people in the high street actually pay their rent. And you know, like in the UK, the rent is going up and up and up and up. You're removing that first existential threat that they have, which can shut down their business. So by doing that, you're basically ensuring that they will exist in the future. And that is, at the end of the day, that is what we stand for. We stand for an independent future. So there's obviously the offline world, and then there's the online world. And a lot of times people think of online as being a force that is destroying the offline experience. A force that is basically forcing small shops to shut down because of e-commerce and because of what is happening with Amazon and other big players. We have a very different kind of way of thinking about it. For us, utilizing that technology to bring economies of scale, to bring communities together that then are able to become more efficient and better at what they sell. And being able as a community to provide the same experience of fulfilling an order, the same experience you would have on Amazon, the same type of convenience, that is something that is absolutely feasible and possible. The reality though is that so far, no one has really spent the money or has given the technology to these small guys to provide beautiful experiences. So for us, the bridge between online and offline is something that we're building, and we believe that we can build beautiful experiences out of that and ensure that in the future, you will have an alternative to buy from these small shops. The difference that technology makes in our job is we don't own any inventory, we don't own any logistics, we don't own any real offline marketing. What we do is just connecting the dots, and we do that through technology, right? Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, failure is part of the game. We failed too many times. Everything from almost going bust to losing great people to driving great people out of the business. Like, we've done all the mistakes that you could do. But at the end of the day, it's about how much you want to sacrifice to make it happen, how persistent you are, and how hard you work, and how fast you learn. So that's basically the 4 things you need to ensure that you can make it up. But failure is part of the game. It happens every day. So I think what is important to always bear in mind is that these are skills that you can learn. It's not something that being able to just take a step back and just calm down and think about the mistakes that you've done and figure out ways to solve those or not to do them again, that is absolutely in your hand. The only thing you really need is to start understanding yourself and to have that humility of like being able to understand your weaknesses and your strengths. That is all you need. Once you have that, then it's very easy for you to start learning faster and start looking at your mistakes. No, so I was part of Entrepreneur First, which I joined in the first cohort, alongside George, who was in Avocado and all those guys. And yeah, I mean, that's where I built my first business, failed it after like 6 months, absolutely screwed it up. Like, I did every single mistake you can do. But then, yeah, met my co-founders, and then we started this business. So we didn't have incubators behind us. We did know some people that kind of helped us out with mentoring and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how we started. I think it's just I think it all boils down to the ability of understanding when you're wrong and knowing when you're right, and then ensuring that the personal ambitions of the people you're talking to are aligned with what you're trying to do as a business and aligned with how you want to run your own business. Like those kind of three things, everything else boils down from that. So I think my interest in learning on those things, I guess, is what makes me good. I don't know what a good leader is. I think that the thing with leadership is it doesn't matter how you lead, it's more about the consistency of your actions. So if you want to lead a team as an army sergeant, for example, and you want to like be very, very like strong and very, very kind of like very, you need to do this and you need to, if you want to be a micromanager, I think you can still be a leader and be a micromanager. It doesn't matter. However, if you're not consistent with it, and if you're not ensuring that the types of people you're hiring are types of people that thrive under micromanagement, then you're not a good leader, right? So it's more about how consistent you are on your approach and the level of emotional intelligence you have to understand the people that are around you. If you have that, then you're good. I think, listen, the thing is that growing up here, you do grow up in a society that is quite protected. You have the freedom of like just moving around and roaming in the hood and all that kind of stuff, which is quite nice. And I think having that type of childhood, it does give you a lot that people typically don't have outside of Cyprus. However, I think I don't think that necessarily the place that you grow up defines what happens later, right? It's more about who you are and what you want to achieve and how much of a pain in the ass you can be.